I'm going to be ranking the best auctionable cards right now in NBA 2K23. My team, we have a tier list here ranging from S that goes all the way down to D tier, and we have about 40 of the best auctionable cards currently in my team. If you guys don't know what I mean by auctionable, is every single card on this tier list will be directly purchasable from the auction house. So no free cards, no lock-in cards, just going to be all the cards you guys can buy off the auction house, and these are going to be around my top 40 in the game, and I'll be ranking them from S tier all the way down to D tier as well. So let me know in the comment section down below, who do you guys think are the best auctionable cards in the game? And of course, let me know what you guys would change about my tier list. But first, the auctionable card here is going to be Jonathan Bender. I think he's probably still somewhere in B tier. He's still a 7-foot small forward, 7'4" wingspan, has great all-around stats and badges. The jump shot's pretty solid with the Montrezl Harrell base and the Trae Young upper on quick timing. And then he's got very elite dribble sigs for a 7-foot card. He can move like a guard. He's super quick with the ball in his hands and still is all around, I would say, a B tier auctionable card in the game. Now, AK-47, it's kind of crazy to say, but I don't think he's even a top 3 small forward in the game anymore. You can make an argument for top 3, but he's kind of fallen off a cliff because AK was clearly the best small forward in the game for a while, and now we've just been getting so many good small forwards in the game that I think AK is still A tier because he's so elite on both ends of the ball. He's a great defender, one of the best in the game. He's also got an amazing jump shot. He's got the Trae dribble sigs, the Kawhi Leonard defensive stance. I mean, the card is still super well rounded at that small forward position. I just don't know if he's a top 5 to 7 auctionable card in the game, so I do think he's going to be a solid A tier auctionable card. Big Z, I think you also got to go A tier. A super cheesy card at the small forward and shooting guard spot, being 7'3" with a 7'6" wingspan. That's pretty much all you need to know about Big Z, is that he's super tall for his position. Now, Dark Matter Bull, especially the hero version, is easily going to be in the S tier category, and obviously the normal one would be at S tier as well, because I do get some questions like, where would the normal version of this card be? The hero and the normal version, so like out of position Jokic and hero Jokic, they're basically the same card, so they're both going to be in the same tier. Now, for example, Michael Jordan, he's like the one exception because MJ, the hero version, is one of the best point guards in the game, whereas Elemental really isn't the greatest. So pretty much all the heroes in the game will be in the exact same tier as their normal edition. But yeah, Hero Bull, I think you got to go S tier. I would say arguably the best card in the game. I mean, he's just so overpowered at the small forward spot, 7'2" with a 7'7" wingspan. He's got a good jump shot, elite dribble sig, some of the best in the game. He's got great all-around stats and badges. He's just a super cheesy card at that small forward position, and I do think is a top 5 auctionable card in the game. Now, Bill Russell, I think you also got to go A tier. I know we have a lot of cards in A tier right now, you know, compared to the other 2 tiers, but Bill Russell is still an elite defender, one of the best in the game, if not the best perimeter defender in my team right now. He can knock down a 3 and still move and create his own shot when he needs to. Joel Embiid, I kind of want to go like a tier below and say B tier, but I think Embiid's not bad. I'm going to go B tier for Joel Embiid. I still think he's got a good player model. He plays good defense in game, has a solid release, and he does have 40 Hall of Fame badges on his hero version. So I think he's still got to be somewhere in B tier alongside Devin Booker, a very good offensive point guard, especially after the Evo. He's going to get a tons of upgrades to his defensive hops. Like if you look at his badges before the upgrade, you know, he's going to have some pretty good defensive hops, but now he's going to get Hall of Fame ankle braces, Hall of Fame challenger, interceptor, off-ball pass, pick dodger. He's going to get Hall of Fame unpluckable, which is pretty nice, and get a little bit of stats here and there, and then also doesn't get any changes to his animations. But all around, I think Devin Booker is probably still somewhere in that B tier category for the best auctionable cards in the game. I think LeBron is going to have to drop down to C tier. I still love LeBron. I think he's a really fun card to be using in the game. He still plays really good defense. He can knock down a shot, and he still plays way above his stats and his badges because his animations are just super ridiculous in game. But I think LeBron's going to have to go down to C tier. There's just so many good auctionable cards in the game right now. Cade, I think, is B tier, kind of on that same level as Devin Booker. I think at the point guard spot, there's probably at least 5 better point guards on this list, so I think he's probably going to be somewhere in B tier. Still a very solid 6'8" point guard in the game. Taco Fall, easy S tier. Just like Bull, one of the more cheesy cards in the game. He's a 7'6" power forward, 8'2" wingspan, one of the best player models in the game. And we all know what Taco Fall can do on the court. Just an absolute cheeseball at the power forward position. D-Rob, I think, is either high B tier or low A. It's kind of hard to rank these next, 2 power forwards like Dwight Howard and D-Rob, because do you put Dwight Howard and D-Rob a step above Joel? I think they are slightly better at the power forward spot. So I think I will go D-Rob and Dwight Howard in A tier, but I might move that around because there's just so many other good cards in the game. But I think for now they'll be in A tier, both great defensive power forwards, and I think both have better jump shots than Joel Embiid. I think Giannis same tier as LeBron. I've always said they're on the same tier. They may not have the best stats, the badges compared to the new cards, or they might not have like the craziest animations, like all of these great cards in the game, but I still think because of their just like crazy animations where they get like, you know, good chase down block annies, they get good defensive annies, they get a lot of foul calls, they just get crazy layup and dunk packages. I think they both got to still go in C tier and are going to be on the exact same tier for me. Luka Doncic, I'm gonna go high A tier for now. I think he's one of the best auctionable cards in the game. Is he top 5 to 7? I would say most likely. So I'm gonna keep him in, yeah, honestly, I'm gonna go S. I do think he's S tier. I think he's above a AK, above a Big Z, you know, definitely above a Cade and a Devin Booker at the point guard position. I mean, Luka Doncic after the, or I was about to say after the Evo, but on his new card, you know, compared to his Galaxy Opal, he's now gonna have the KPJ base and the Rudy Gay upper, which is one of the fastest and easiest jump shots to green in the game. He's also got the Trey leaner, he's got the Trey dribble sigs, so he's gonna move at a very high level, but mainly that jump shot is just gonna be so knocked down and one of the quicker releases currently in the game. So Luka Doncic, for me personally, I think he's going to be an S tier auctionable card. Jimmy Butler, I would say is he high B tier? I would say he's probably really high B tier for now. Maybe he does get moved up to A tier later in the video. I'm gonna go high B, still a really elite defender and does have a capable jump shot. Kawhi Leonard, is it crazy to say D for Kawhi and KD? Because I know they're good cards. Like, they're still very solid cards in the game. Don't get it twisted. Just because a card's in D tier does not mean at all that they're necessarily bad cards in the game. It's just like there's just better cards that have better jump shots. For example, Kevin Durant compared to a card like an AK-47, AK is a better defender than KD in game, and he also has a way better jump shot and way better dribble sigs. Even though it shouldn't be like that, I think KD should always be a better offensive card than AK in my team, but that's just not how they do stuff in my team, especially this year. They give way better jump shots to AK and cards like that compared to Kevin Durant, who's like the best scorer of all time. So it's a little bit weird how they don't have, you know, updated jump shots compared to all these other elite cards in the game. So they're still really usable cards and still very elite at their position. So just because they're in D tier, I'm not saying they're bad cards. I just have to spread out the tier list a little bit. And I think out of all these cards on the tier list, they're probably some of the worst, but that doesn't mean they're bad cards. Still super elite at their positions. I think Shane Battier is C tier. I think he's a very solid budget card in the game. I don't think he's as good as Jonathan Bender at small forward, but at the shooting guard position, he plays great lockdown defense and does have a capable jump shot. Once again, compared to Kawhi Leonard, he's going to be about the same on the defensive end, but has a way better jump shot than Kawhi. So why would he not be in the C tier category, right? So I think Shane Battier for me is going to be in C tier. Kevin Garnett, very close to S tier. He might honestly get moved up to S tier later in the video. I think he's the second best small forward in the game for the auctionable tier, plays really good defense and does have a capable jump shot. Kobe Bryant, same thing as KD and Kawhi. Their jump shots are just really not on par with the other top shooting guards in the game, like Tim Thomas, Tracy McGrady, Terry Dishinger, Steve Smith. Those cards just all have better jump shots. I still think they're very usable cards in game, and you can still have a lot of success using Kobe Bryant, using KD, using Kawhi. Even LeBron, Giannis, they're still top tier cards in the game because they're dark matters with tons of Hall of Fame badges. They just really need their updated animations. KPJ, I know this might seem crazy. I think Kevin Porter Jr. is on the Devin Booker level. I'm not even kidding. This man is so elite on the offensive end, being 6'6" at point guard. Yes, his stats might not be the craziest for the defensive side of things, but this man's jump shot is one of my favorite releases in the game. So easy to green, and I feel like you just can't miss with this card. And he also does have elite dribble sig, so I think he's in that B tier category alongside a Devin Booker at the point guard position. I think they're very similar at the point guard spot. Kristaps, easy A tier, kind of on that same level as like a Kevin Garnett in the high A tier. One of the best big men in my team currently. I think he's probably the second or third best center in the game, and just all around one of the best stretch bigs currently in my team. I would say Kyle Kuzma, I would go high B tier for Kuzma. I think he's slightly worse than Bill Russell and AK-47 at the small forward spot, but Kuzma, great jump shot, good player model. I don't think he's much worse on a card like AK. Brook Lopez, I know this might sound really crazy. I think Brook Lopez is an A. I think he's a top tier center, easily a top 5 center in the game. I think it probably goes like Yao, Kristaps, and then between Brook Lopez and Dikembe Mutombo, I think it's a really close debate. Brook's got that size, he's got that player model, and his jump shot is super knocked down at the center center position. So I'm a surprisingly go Brook Lopez in that A tier category. Jokic, I think he's got to be S tier, man. I think he's a 6'11" point guard, 7'3" wingspan. He's one of the more cheesier cards in the game. He's just so overpowered with that jump shot being with Eric Paschal base and the Oscar Robertson upper on very quick timing. And he also does have elite dribble sigs for a 6'11" point guard card. So I do think Nikola Jokic as his hero version and his out of position would both be in the S tier category. Marc Gasol is solid. I'm gonna go B tier. I think Marc Gasol is slightly worse than a Brook Lopez. Cards like D-Rob and Dwight, Kristaps, I think he's a tier below those guys. But at the center position, I would take him over Joel Embiid. I'm not even kidding. I think he's a better center card than Joel because he's going to give you the defense that Joel does. He's got the athleticism. He's got 90 speed, 90 acceleration. It's just his jump shot is so much better than a card like Embiid's that I think Brook Lopez is on that same tier as Joel Embiid. Yao Ming, easy S tier. One of the best, all-around cards in the game just because he's 7'6" with a 7'9" wingspan. He's just an absolute beast on the offensive end. Michael Jordan, I think is so close to being in the S tier category. Once again, his hero version is a lot better than his elemental one, but I do think he deserves to be in the A tier category. One of the best point guards in the game. I just do think Luka and Jokic are slightly better at the point guard spot. Penny Hardaway, I would say, is in B tier. I like him a little bit more than Cade. I think he's just a faster and better rim running Cade Cunningham, but very similar at the point guard position. Penny also does play elite defense compared to a card like Cade. Peter Gudmundsson, I think, is probably B. I think he's probably B tier as well, on the same tier as like a Marc Gasol, slightly worse than like the Kristapses and the Brook Lopez's of the world. Paul George for me, gotta go, I would say C or D tier. Once again, another card that you can still use in game. I'm gonna go D tier for Paul George. I just really don't like his release. Hedo Turkoglu, I think you got to go A tier for Hedo. I don't think he's much worse than like a Jordan or a Ron Artest, and I think Ron Artest is also going to be an A tier. So I'm gonna go Hedo Turkoglu in that A tier category. Ricky Davis, I think you still got to give B tier too. I think he's a very elite shooting guard in the game. And then I will say, guys, this is going to be the most surprising one and something that everybody disagrees with me because I can already tell. I'm going Sabonis in C tier. I do not like this card's jump shot. I understand if you're good with his release, he's still a very good center card in the game. And if you can time his jump shot, he's probably on the same level as a Marc Gasol, as a Peter Gudmundsson, and most likely even better. Just for me personally, I cannot agree with his jump shot. I like Marc Gasol's release a ton more. I like Peter Gudmundsson's release a ton more as well. That I understand why people like Sabonis. If you can time his jump shot, he's an amazing center in the game. I just personally can't time his release. I find it way too slow and just super baited in game. So for me personally, I'm going Sabonis in C tier. Shaq, I think you got to go D. I know he's still super dominant, all that type of stuff. It's just there's other centers in the game that can stretch the floor a lot better than Shaq, and they also can play just as good as defense. Cards like Kristaps, cards like Dikembe, he's not on here, but D-Rob, Dwight Howard, they can all defend at the same level as Shaq, but then they do have way better jump shots and can green more threes consistently. I would say Tim Thomas, easy A tier card. I'm not sure if he's in S tier. I think him and T-Mac, who is also the next card on this list. I think you got to go Tracy McGrady and Tim Thomas in S tier. I just think their offensive ability is a little bit better than some of these cards in A tier. And then the final two cards is going to be Will Chamberlain, who I'm gonna throw in C tier, kind of for the same reason as Sabonis. I just don't like his release. And then I think James Worthy also going to be in the C tier category, just a better version of LeBron, not by a crazy amount. But yeah, guys, that's going to be my auctionable card tier list. Is there anybody I want to move up into S tier? Like, I would say like Michael Jordan, Ron Artest, KG, and Kristaps are going to be the super high S tier category. Like, these are my top 4 cards in S 100%. I just think they're slightly worse than the cards in S tier. But honestly, guys, all of these cards on this list are going to be super elite at their position. I mean, anybody from B tier and up is some of the best cards at their position, and then even C and D tier are still very elite cards as well. But let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think about my auctionable card tier list, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.